Okay, does it say we're recording right now?
Yeah, I see it.
Perfect. All right, let's go into Facebook.
The Book of Face.
That be it. All right, preparing to live stream the meeting.
I see it. Success. Better than last week.
Redirecting. And
Incredible.
I believe we are live.
Yeah,
no?
we're good.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All righty, let's get this ball rolling, my friends. All right. Hey guys, my name is Christopher Rudder from Rudderless Travel, and we are back again with another exclusive affiliate link masterclass. Today we are going to take a closer look at the submissions from our members, and for that I brought out the big guns, my brothers from different mothers, Mr. Kevin Wagar from the Wandering Wagars, and Mr. Christopher Mitchell from Traveling Mitch. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Super, man.
doing pretty well. Yeah, it's easier to be indefinitely indoors when the weather's not, sun shining and stuff. I can embrace the indoors when it's a little rainy and stuff like that. So yeah, not too shabby, can't complain. Oddly excited to talk about affiliate marketing. So these are all good things.
What about yourself, Mr. K?
I've got a nice spot here right next to the heating vent, so I'm in a pretty good place. Always excited to talk about affiliate marketing because anything that brings in people money is a solid time investment.
Agreed. All right. So before we dive in, I want to quickly review 3 key takeaways from last week. So number 1, user intent. In the last video, we had our dear and special guest friend, Nora Dunn. Nora and Kevin really pointed out the importance of user intent.
I think you're cutting out on us there, Chris.
Yeah, Rudder, you're breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
now I can hear you. Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
You're going
Fingers crossed. Please don't cut off on me right now. Like I really can't. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Number 1, user intent. In the last video, we had our dear and special friend, special guest, Nora Dunn. Nora and Kevin really pointed out the importance of user intent, and I also posted it up as this week's tip. It's about connecting the user with a buying mentality in order to help affiliate articles convert into clicks and sales. So when we're looking at the best hiking boots for women versus the top hiking trails in Ontario, the user intent for one is focused on women's boots and the other is focused on hiking trails. Naturally, your keywords should reflect the user intent. Number 2, including affiliate links in articles for product, services, and places that you actually own, use, or visited. Nora mentioned this in the video as well, and I'm trying to do this as often as I can as well. It's easier to write about things that you're passionate about, as well as include those specific details a user may be looking for that only can be found from actually using the product or service. In addition, pictures of yourself with or using the product helps to build trust. And lastly, keeping track of your affiliate links. Yeah, I know. It's another thing you need to stay on top of, but you not only have to track what's working, what's not working, but you also need to remember, which links from which companies are in which post. And in addition to that, you need to stay on top of any changes made by affiliate programs. They're always changing things like commission rates, threshold, cookie duration. Sometimes they just go out of business, especially even though. So you need to keep on track of these things. And so in order to do that, we helped you out by creating an affiliate link tracker, which we posted in the group last week and this week. So just before we dive in, a bit of housekeeping. If you need to leave for whatever reason, I know your kids are learning online these days, but at this time they should be out of class. But whether or not, whatever it is, don't stress out. This video will stay here in the group under the announcements tab, so you can watch it or rewatch it later. And also at the ending of the reviews, we will open the floor up for questions. All right, are we locked? Are we loaded? You guys ready to go?
Yeah,
Let's
we're
dive
ready.
in.
We're ready. You've got me excited. So firstly, just mentioning that this will probably be a shorter session, probably won't end up being a 2-hour behemoth, because we're just reviewing 2 articles here. And I think it's as much about some of the reminders as anything else. But for sure, we're here for questions at the end. Affiliate marketing, I should just mention before we get into it, is something you can always get better at. I would despite having a clear understanding of the principles of affiliate marketing, I still, and probably every blogger has about 5 to 10 to a billion hours of work that they could put into their posts to, get them more affiliate ready, affiliate friendly. There are some hacks that, I think we go over a lot of that in the course. If you haven't done the intro to affiliate marketing course, I think that'd be a good idea. But there's little hacks like, pretty links and things like that, where you can change links en masse and save yourself time. Also, just one thing I wanted to mention before we get into it, affiliate marketing is one of those things that if you get somebody you really trust, and you hire them, you could, and you really understand your site, you could conceivably say, for example, let's say Kevin and I decide that we want to sign up with VRBO. That's the new hotel guy, right? VRBO, that's replacing
it's like the Airbnb kind of.
Right, replacing Airbnb, or let's just use Booking because it's nice and easy. So let's say that Kevin and I realize that we have 10 posts that are performing tremendously on cities in Ontario. It's not terribly difficult to go and add in the code or the links or whatever to get those posts affiliate ready. But it is one of those tasks that you can put off indefinitely. So in some cases, it's worth hiring somebody who's got a clear understanding of affiliate marketing and basically giving them the login to your booking and saying, this is how I want you to place this code in these articles. And the reason that I mentioned that specifically is because sometimes it's worth spending money to make money. If you know that you're placing, planting seeds that are going to pay you indefinitely, it can be really worth it. Sometimes I'm not always diligent with that kind of stuff. I still get a decent amount of income from Booking on traveling missions, things like that, but we're just getting around to going into hyperdrive on affiliate stuff on Ultimate Ontario. So these are just some things to think about off the top of my head. So all that aside, if anyone has questions about any of that kind of stuff afterwards, hit us up. But I was going to just briefly touch upon, all 3 of us are going to touch a little bit on all 3 of the articles here. The first article was submitted by Irina on L Muse. And I'm just going to kind of give some thoughts that might be helpful for you. And keep in mind that, it's not just like we're flinging criticism. We're just trying to, throw some helpful advice here. We're try as best as possible to make sure our webinars aren't just like pointing the finger at this, that, and the other, and making members feel like crap. We do our best to avoid that. But firstly, the title 26 Unique Mother's Day Gifts at Your Fingertips, I think is a good affiliate style title. It really, you have intent built into the title. You are letting people know that it's going to be easy for people to find gifts via your site. Usually people are rushed for gifts. They don't want to admit it, but they are. And so the idea that people could have that at their fingertips and be able to execute that very quickly, already you're setting a certain style of intent at the beginning. That's like, hey, you forgot about your mother, but it's not too late. These are right at your fingertips. So just mind me, I'm looking over at my second monitor here as I go through this. I like some of the headings here about one-of-a-kind mom. The first product there, the faux fur and satin robe, and we can throw links, or the links will be in the previous thread from earlier this week. If anyone wants to check it out, we can post them again under this webinar if people just want to see what we're talking about for the sake of ease. I like the idea in this instance that you bolded #1 seller. People, usually the great fear for people not purchasing is they're worried that they're not going to make the right choice. If you have something built into, this is the number one seller on the LMU site, so people know this is what people are buying the most from your site or through you, that provides a bit of confidence. People are like, okay, so I have Mother's Day gifts at my fingertips, and this is the number one Mother's Day gift, pretty much. And it's right at the top, which is good because you can convert quickly. You're not exactly worried about time on page on an affiliate article. You're worried about conversion. So if you can convert quickly, great. If someone gets off in 25 seconds, but they made a purchase, even better. It's just a faster purchase. So the one thing that I would say is that right below that, I see an ad, must-have gift of 2021. And then I see a silk pillowcase. And then below that, I have another must-have gift of 2021. If you can, in this instance, I would try to be more intentional about separating your ads from your actual affiliate products. I personally had a hard time when I was just going through, just noticing which one was an ad and which one was a product. If the ad was for a product anyways, right? Which it seems like some of the ads are, you'll make a heck of a lot more money on this post from affiliates than you will from Google ads. So that's something you can consider for spacing and maybe even exempt this post from ads if it's just strictly affiliate, but that's a personal choice ultimately. The other thing I would say is there's a really nice variety of products. Just from an SEO perspective, I probably would use headers to actually organize the products. So like you might have a header and then you can list the most sentimental products, and then you could mention the lavish products, and then you could mention whatever comfortable products. There might just be ways that you can, and that will make it a whole lot more efficient as well, as far as like lavish gifts for Mother's Day. You can use all sorts of other keywords there in your probably H3s, I guess, is what you would use there for the headers. You'd probably have an H2 up top and then H3s for those sections. The last thing, a couple last things I was going to say before I pass it on is yeah, the last thing I was going to say really is that at the bottom here, I would probably add a conclusion with a header just to keep that keyword friendly. Also, I find if I'm looking at a post and it just kind of it just goes product, and then kind of trails off. It's kind of the same thing for me as someone just kind of walking out the door without saying goodbye. I'm like, where did you go? Maybe I'm just too chummy, but anyways, that is one thing I would add, just a small paragraph saying like that's a wrap on the top Mother's Day gifts or whatever. Your disclaimer at the bottom, I like that it's in nice clear language and links to your privacy policy. I think that's good practice. I might have the word disclaimer in there somewhere, but a side note, like that's kind of tip getting into the nitty gritty, but the fact that you have a disclaimer there is good. I have my disclaimers personally on affiliate style posts up at the top because I had read that that's what Google likes to see, is that they like to see a disclaimer before products are shown. However, I haven't heard of anyone getting bitten for that personally, so I'm not sure if that's the case, but just throwing that out there. Those are most of the things that I want to say. Sorry, fellows, I see you messaging back and forth here, and I can see it personally in the group showing live. So I think we're all right with that, but technology is truly a jerk. So who knows? But I think we're good. Someone can comment and let us know we're live in the group, but I think we got a couple likes there. So I think we're all right. And I'm watching myself talk on my other monitor. So I think we're okay.
Okay. Kevin and I are just like sweating over here.
Well, this is why I had this pause moment, because it's like, are we posting here?
Are we saying all this for nothing?
I see 12 minutes ago, Christopher Rudder is live now in the Blogger Collective Mastermind community, and Sharon just said, "Yep, you are good." Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
You are a day saver and a life saver. Now, gentlemen, deep breath and let us continue, because I sped up speaking as my heart rate picked up looking at your messages full of confused antics. So let us resume.
Honestly, worst case scenario, we are recording it, so I would just post it up later. So we always got you covered.
Kev, did you want to chime in on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Rena, I think this is a really great idea, example of an affiliate article that is focused on targeting an existing audience. It wouldn't be one that I would chime in on from an SEO perspective, because generally an SEO article, as we've mentioned before, would be kind of longer with a little bit more detail and structure. But if I was to create an affiliate article that I would advertise out on my newsletter or to my social media audiences and things like that, to kind of get that instant gratification, that instant push that you can only do when you really have that connection with your audience, this is pretty much exactly as I would put it out, because it's, as Chris said, it's short and sweet and to the point. It delivers the type of product that people are looking for. Just as Chris mentioned as well, I would probably, if I were you, look to see if I could deactivate ads for affiliate posts like this. Simply because advertising networks are really good at mimicking the kind of content that you have on your screen, because the more they make it look like what you're saying, the more chance they have of getting a click through, and they do a pretty decent job. In fact, until I even noticed that little green thing in the corner that said ad, I thought that there was just an inconsistent way that you were presenting each of the products. And I was like,
so I just want to, I don't want to interrupt, but yesterday we were chatting and we were reviewing the post together, and there was the ad actually was for a pillow. And so it was like silk satin pillow, and then right below it was like #1 pillow ever for mothers, and it was like boom boom, and yeah, that's kind of where that came from. But I'll pass it back to you, Kev.
Yeah, so if there is a way, I'm not sure which ad network you're with, but if there's a way to deactivate ads on affiliate style posts that are like this, where it's just kind of boom 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 boom, product, then I recommend you do it, because you will probably miss out on clicks, as the advertised products will likely match the kind of stuff that you're showing within your content. And that's just potential income that you're giving away to your advertising networks when they should be paying you. Beyond that, I think that's straightforward. Like, again, it's not something that I would tout from an SEO perspective, but from I'm sorry, somebody keeps calling me. Stop it. But from a pure affiliate market to your audience post, it makes a lot of sense the way that you have it laid out here.
Yeah. Rudder, do you want to chime in? One thing I was just going to say before you chat on that, if you want to, Chris, is just that I do like how here too, it's you're positioning yourself, even if you're the only person, I'm not sure if you're the only person who writes this, but positioning yourself as, like, for example, that comment about the row where you mentioned that this is the #1 seller on L Muse for the past 12 months. When you talk about yourself in the kind of like this second person, like, we believe this, we believe that, or whatever, you can really make yourself, it's kind of like the puff up your chest, like make yourself look larger on a site sort of thing. There's a power in that, really, in some instances, because you are creating authority, because you're not like, I like this, I like that. It's just like, no, this sells the best on L Muse. It makes you it focuses on the brand aspect of it, which is helpful. Again, that's something that I'll use depending on the site. In some instances, I'm going to write, for example, if I was writing about my favorite travel books on Traveling Mitch, I'm for sure using the I tone, because my authority there is based on my own personal tone. But if I'm writing about the best hotels in Ontario, it might serve me better on Ultimate Ontario to talk about like, we believe this. It's always going to depend. So that's something I think a lot of people don't think about enough with affiliate marketing, is what your tone should be, because you can switch that up. And sometimes the first person pronoun is going to serve you better than the second, is going to serve you better than the third, and so forth. Sometimes the
Even
second
even
person
using
pronoun, like,
comments such as,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
this has been top rated or something like that. It doesn't always have to be your perspective. It can be you aggregating information from outside sources as well. As long as you're passing in some kind of authority that makes it sound like you know what you're talking about, then that builds that level of trust.
Yeah, you're right. I was just going to go a little bit more English major nerd on you for a second and just say sometimes the second person pronoun is really helpful because you're saying like you is directive, right? I use the second person pronoun all the time in newsletters, like you should consider this, you should do that, whatever, because you're already sort of putting out the carpets, so to speak. It's easy for people to align with you when you're using a directive tone in the second person pronoun. But I'll back away from the English major nerd stuff. And Ryder, did you want to chime in on this post?
Just a couple of things. I just wanted to tag on to what you're saying, actually, because when you look at the rest of her site, it's well put together from the perspective of like she knows who her target audience is, and she knows, and it's relatable to her. So I do feel that by using that particular pronoun might work best for her because I feel that her audience is likely following whatever she's going to suggest. Because really she's talking about lifestyle, she's talking about beauty, she's talking about fashion for the Gen Xers primarily, and mothers, and she includes millennials as well, but is primarily an older demographic. So I feel that she does that really well. So using that pronoun I think would work best for her. And the only other thing that was, you guys said it kind of kindly, but for me as a visual person, like the ads does drive me mad, because it's a lot of ads. So I just feel that you have to make sort of a decision, because in one case you had, as Dave mentioned before, it said shop here, and another time it said shop now, and they're right beside each other, and the person's going to get confused as to which one they're going to click. And if they want to see the robe, but they accidentally end up on the pillow, you're going to irritate a lot of people that way. So I would just look at that. But you also have to make a decision, like if you're making good money from your ads, then that's something to consider as well. But generally speaking, yeah, if you have ads like that, you're going to confuse people for sure. They're not going to know where they're clicking. That amount of ads anyways.
Also, just to chime in on what you're saying, Ryder, like, the decisions you make too when you're altering things are not final, right? Like you could conceivably just try it for, have that page with no ads on, try it for a week, see if your affiliates increase, or try it for a month and see if your affiliates increase, then try it for a month with, ads placed differently. Like so much of blogging is the patience to test something and actually see what the results are. It's really easy to, like, in some cases we have this really intense intent where we're like, we're going to do this is the right way for sure, but we need data to back up our decisions. So I personally would pull away the ads, see if your affiliates increase. It's entirely likely that your affiliates could increase in a factor that would make your ads, like placing those ads there, seem laughable because you're making much more money off your affiliates. I don't know what ad network that is. It looks like the font looks Google Adsy to me, but I could be wrong about that. But if it is Google Ads, then that's very much a one that you could probably pause on for an affiliate post. Although I don't know if Google Ads you can target specific posts, but I'm not totally sure about that. But anyways, just thinking out loud on that. Testing decisions aren't permanent. You can try whatever the heck you want and test out what's working for you. I would encourage you to listen to something we have to say and then see if it actually applies for you, because blogging is not like you can't make sweeping generalizations in blogging. I'll take what somebody says and I'll try to implement it, and then I'll make my own decisions about it typically.
Agreed. All right, let's move on to the next article. Which one of you guys wanted to give that a go?
It doesn't matter to me. Kev, you want to chime in?
Yeah, sure. So this is Cass's article on Carpiac Caravan about the Nomad Lanes bento bag, the most versatile canvas carry-on, which looks like a pretty cool bag. It's got an internal charger, which is always good. So I look at articles like this, which are very, very product specific articles. So this is an article that is focused on a single type of product or a single product specifically rather than a single type of product. There are advantages and disadvantages to approaching an article like this in terms of a affiliate focus. I've done a few of them myself, usually in partnership with a brand sponsor or something like that. And generally, what I found is articles like this don't tend to perform particularly well from an affiliate standpoint. The reason behind that is that if I was to, going back to that idea of user mindset, if I was looking for a specific product to buy, then I would, and I know that the name of that product, for example, the Nomad Lanes bento bag, then I would type that in, or I would go to Amazon, or I would go to the Nomad Lane website and purchase it from there. Generally, if I know that name already, then I already know that I want to purchase it, or that I'm at least just looking for a little bit more information. That being said, they're not completely off the radar in terms of affiliate benefit, because one of the things that these articles can do very well for is act as supporting content for affiliate mindset focused or buying focused articles. So for example, you're using the term here, Nomad Lanes bento bag, the most versatile canvas carry-on. So if I was to use this to leverage an article, what I would probably do is create an affiliate focused article on versatile canvas carry-on bags, or the best canvas carry-on bags, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, where I would create a list of articles and include or a list of products, and then include this as one of them, or include this as my highest rated, if that's how you feel it is. And then this article would link to that, that article would link to that, and they would have and then that deepens that content pyramid within that, which then pushes the validity of the affiliate focus article up, so that chances are that it will rank higher. An article like this is also really good when you write the title in a way that intrigues people to dive deeper into why this may or may not be the bag for them. So if I was to be looking for a canvas carry-on, and I was searching, the Nomad Lanes bento bag, I might, but I wasn't sure if I was going to buy it, then I would probably say something like, is the Nomad Lanes bento bag any good? Or, Nomad Lanes bento bag versus whatever its biggest competitor is. Things that will help me make that buying decision that will ultimately lead to that purchase. If you update your titling to kind of answer that question, or to dig a little bit deeper into what the purchase mindset of the people might be, then this could lead to a few more affiliate click-throughs.
Yeah. Rudder, do you mind if I just chime in super quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so my advice was honestly the same, which is just that a post like this there's nothing wrong with it. It looks great, by the way. Your photography is great. You answered all the key questions about the bag. It's more just about if I was doing this, I would create one post called everything you want to know about Nomad Lane's bento bag, and to have everything. I would create a post called the most versatile canvas carry-ons and include this one at the top with my affiliate link. And then you mentioned at the top about how the away bag, you were always digging around with what you were looking for. I might have a post called the Nomad Lane's bento bag versus the away, whatever the comparable is. And then you kind of have 3 posts that are linking together. The big one is if you can lock in a few posts on Canvas carry-ons, if you can get more affiliates on Canvas carry-ons and have this larger post that's like your pillar, and you become the Canvas carry-on person, that's going to be helpful. This post also really, really ripe for sharing on a newsletter. You already, when you have people on a newsletter, they already trust what you're going to say. Your tone in this is like really first person. I think your authority really shines through really nicely on this. If I was looking at this bag, I'd be convinced about it. You can, I mean, I use a bunch of newsletter services. I like MailerLite personally. And I said I'd talk about this a little bit down the line because I'm obsessed with email marketing and love it. But this is like a great post once you've already built trust. So let's say you have an automation sequence that has, I don't know, let's say 8 emails in your intro sequence, and you're on like email number 5 or 6. I would pencil this in right around 6. Like you already have people, you've offered them value that wasn't related to this. They already trust you. They've stuck around for, depends how much gap you want, but let's say the 6th email would come maybe a month after you sign up or something like that for the email sequence. That's kind of where I always posit I'm not selling my ebook and my welcome sequence right now because it doesn't feel right to say like, hey, come explore Toronto, except don't, we're a nightmare. So I'm not putting that in there, but with this, there's nothing like that attached to it. So once you already have that authority, you can go in there and sell. I bet you that would convert really nicely because the people who have made it to your 5th email already trust the heck out of what you're saying. Just something to think about from an email marketing perspective. With email marketing, you can't use Amazon links, for example. But if you had a Canvas carry-on bag post, you had the affiliate link for this company, and then you had Amazon links for 7 other Canvas bags in that post, you could still post the URL to the article, which would be carpiacaravan.com/ I'm guessing it would be something like best Canvas carry-on bags or something like that. There's no issue with that from an affiliate perspective. So anyways, just throwing that out there. Before Rudder chimes in here, we've got a few people live just who are watching it here, and some people will watch it later. If anyone who is watching live has any questions around any of this, now would be the time to throw some of those out there. We're happy to take a few minutes to answer any of those questions, but I will pass it over to Mr. Rudder here to see if he has any other comments about that. The post looks good though. I think both posts have a lot of potential, just some tweaks, just some thoughts to consider. But that's a really, particularly the post we just talked about there, it's really nice and clean. It answers all the questions I want to know. But these are 2 different approaches. One is like, boom, here are 26 gifts. Click away, buy some products, you're all set for Mother's Day. And the other one is really like, here's a very detailed explanation of a product. So I think these 2 are great examples to be focused on because we're showing that there is no one size fits all affiliate marketing post. It's extremely dependent on the product you're using. And the strategy around it is going to change whatever you're trying to promote. So hopefully that's helpful. I'll pass it over to you. Cool. Rudder, I'll pass it over to you and then we can tackle Sharon's question.
Yes, you could be the Carpiac Caravan Canvas Carry-On Queen.
Wow. Say that one 3 times.
Yes, the Carpiac Caravan Canvas Carry-On Queen. How about that? You could be the authority on that. No, I don't have anything particularly additional to add to that. I also agree completely with Kevin's point with regards to having a specific, I review a lot of bags as well. So I do, sometimes if you have a sponsored post, you're going to have to write that post that's going to include all the features and all the things about that. So, you're going to have to do that. The particular word carry on is a very hard keyword to rank for. But that said, having, as Kevin said, having, competitions, just bag versus bag, or the top 5. Those
Yeah.
work better with user intent. The only other thing that I would add, and this is just like really nitpicking, is I'm as I said, I'm a really visual person, and I know that you have your blog is particularly family related. So I would definitely have more pictures of how you're using the bag specifically, like what's fitting in the bag, what are you putting in there in relation to like your kids and whatnot. Like, how are you using this bag specifically to give people ideas? Like, I tend to, with my bags, I tend to take pictures of the bags and how I'm using them, like what I'm putting in there, so people can see how things are fitting. Specifically because I deal with a lot of gear. So people who are gearheads like me want to know, how is the gear going to fit in this bag when I need to lug it around all over the place. So I tend to fit that and show pictures of how it's all fitting and those kind of things as well. So, and then that just goes to the whole trust of you with this product. They know that you have it. They can see how you're using it, and you know it's relatable in that way. So that's the only thing that I would really add to that, honestly. And that's just really nitpicking.
Yep. Sweet.
One other thing I'd like to point out about the Canvas carry-on article is another way, because a lot of affiliate strategy revolves around things like link dropping and cookie dropping, where you may not be making that initial sale, but you drop a link, say to Amazon or something like that, that has like a 30-day cookie. And then if somebody makes a purchase within that 30-day period, then you earn the commission on it. So one other way to kind of translate this into an article that might get you a little bit more income is to drop examples of a competitor product and why you think this particular product is better than this competitor, and then you can drop a link to it, and that link brings them to Amazon or some other website. Not that I want to promote Amazon because they kind of suck, but but you know, it is what it is, and sometimes you got to dance with the devil, and but that could entice a click to say like, oh, I wonder how much that bag is in comparison to the one that I'm looking at here. Because you've got lots of information on this particular bag, but you know, you kind of briefly mention offhand what, you know, this product or this product is. And if somebody wants to compare and they might be intrigued, they might click on it and say, oh, okay, so it's X dollars. And but as soon as they've gone and committed to that curiosity, you've dropped the cookie. And then if they turn around and buy, you know, a full 8-piece luggage set for their entire family, you could have just made yourself $150. So
yeah.
Or they could buy
Yeah, that
toilet
makes a lot-
paper and they'll still make money, whatever it is that you buy.
Yeah,
from it.
exactly. It's the same thing. Same thing too with at least it used to be with booking.com, was that if they came on using your link, it didn't matter if they got, you know, booked the hotel that you recommended for them. If they booked any hotel, you get a kickback, which I thought was a nice feature. I know booking.com has made a point of making their program a lot less competitive and enjoyable for a lot of people, but it still beats the non-existent Airbnb program.
And by the way, that was
Booking-
Nora's
Booking
joke, by
performs
the way, with
really
the
well
toilet
for me,
paper. Just
so.
want to throw it out there.
Yeah. So Sharon was asking, just talking a little bit more about interlinking between product posts. So I can talk a little bit about that. So I'll give a real example just because it's easier to. So I got a pack. I think Rudder, you got a pack from them too, but I got a pack from Standard Luggage. It's like their whole thing is like this 3-in-1 carry-on, and their whole thing is about like the maximum size legal carry-on, which is pretty good if you don't want to be checking a bag. It entices me for sure, especially because like that's kind of my ideal way to travel. Sometimes I'll travel with the carry-on and maybe like a little hopper, like a little hopper down there. I sometimes bring just like a 20-liter hopper, but usually just a big carry-on will do. So I will write a post that really is not going to be, I'm not going to worry so much about SEO, except for clearly labeling what the product is, just for sake of readership. I'll make my title exactly what the product is. The 3-in-1 carry-on bag from Standard Luggage. It might even be like reviewing the 3-in-1 carry-on Standard Luggage bag, whatever it is. I'm not worried there about SEO. However, after I write that post, I'll probably add that to my email newsletter sequence if I use the bag and really like it. But later down the line in my email sequence, because I get a 10% kickback for any purchases, which is, sure, I'll take that. And if I really like the bag anyways, great. Then as far as interlinking goes, Sharon, just to answer your question there, I'll probably create a new post with something to do with something that's unique about the Standard Luggage bag. So I might do a post on, for example, my favorite maximum size legal carry-ons or something like that. I'll have to look at the keywords around that, but it'd be something specific to really the rest of the carry-ons I'm listing there, I'm getting a smaller cut on because I'll probably use Amazon links. And if I know I'm getting a 10% cut on the Standard Luggage bag, then I'm going to make sure that I'm pointing people to that probably. And that means using some of the same language that they use on their site anyways, because it'll lead people, there'll be a connection there from an SEO perspective. Plus that article is going to rank a heck of a lot better. And then I would link between those two articles. And then from there, I would look at how those two articles performed and then look at what else I might do. That might be a situation where I would reach back out to Standard Luggage and say, I've sold a bunch of your bags. My audience really likes it. Can you send me another bag for me to review? And then I have a third link where I'm talking about other things. And then sort of that process builds out. And then, perhaps if that relationship goes really well, all of a sudden I've reviewed 4 Standard Luggage products. And then I have 4 summative posts where I'm talking about maximum size carry-ons, easy to carry, whatever's duffel bags, blah, 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 whatever the wording is around that. So hopefully that helps a little bit. If I was doing something more benign that wasn't necessarily a real product, let's say, for example, that I'm trying to promote MailerLite over MailChimp, I would create an article firstly from the first person perspective of why I use MailerLite. Then I would create another article from the first person perspective talking about why I prefer MailerLite versus MailChimp 100 times out of 100. And then I would probably, share those on social strategically, probably in that case to other bloggers. So if you see me post in the Toronto or in the Blogger Collective Mastermind with one of those posts, watch out, I'm coming for your bank. But that's just another example of, in that case, anytime that you're linking related articles, it's going to be helpful for you, especially when, like Kev was talking about earlier, when you're really not going to be able to stand too tall on just your product post. I used to get really bummed out when I first started blogging because I'd create one post on the top 10 things to do in whatever destination, it would blow up. And then my next article would be like a review of this luggage, and it would not do great. And I'd be like, oh my God, why isn't my article doing as well? And then it's like, it's not the same thing, right? It's like taking a Ferrari out and then taking a smart car out and be like, I don't know why I'm not going as fast. There's 2 different things, 2 different tracks, and you're trying to accomplish different things.
I think one thing that's worth noting about this strategy too is for that exact reason that you mentioned there. Like, I've written posts on individual products that have performed super well, sure, and gotten me absolutely bubkiss when it comes to affiliate income. And then I've written articles that have completely not performed at all, and they also didn't bring me any affiliate income, but they do all add to my linking strategy. So one thing that's worth noting is that not every article needs to be, a 3,000 word SEO monster. Sometimes it can just be a little piece with a couple of photos of you using the product, thoughts on why you think it's good or why you don't think it's good, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then leave it at that. Like, it could be a little 500 post, 500 word blurb about your thoughts on the product, and you could leave it at that. And
500 posts? That seems like a
500 post, 500 paragraph ebook on But
on
yeah,
the
like it doesn't
Kansas
have to
carry-on
be.
bag.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a monster, but everything that you have adds to that buoyancy that pushes the things above it in the pyramid higher. So that's something worth considering. I don't, I personally would never go and spend 4 hours writing a review on a specific carry-on luggage, but I might spend an hour putting a little, nice piece that's just gonna give someone a click through that will give them more information than the short 200 words that I could put in a listicle.
So one small caveat there, I would spend 4 hours if I didn't have posts that already showed myself reviewing products. Because, for example, if Cass put 4 hours into that post, she can use that to get new products now. So it's always good to have a few flagship affiliate posts that you can use to show that you know what the heck you're doing. But then I totally agree with you, Kev. Afterwards, you can.
It's worth doing when it's worth doing, but it's not always worth doing, kind of thing. And that's kind of the rub there, is that you kind of got to do the math on the value that you think you're going to get out of it based on research ideas that we threw out in the intro to SEO course, which is, if you haven't taken it, do it.
That's right. Take that course right now.
On that note, Chris, do you have is there any other questions in the thing?
No, I don't think so. I think we've kind of got a random time, like Thursday at 3 p.m. is we just kind of figure whoever will tune in, and people can catch this a little bit later. So I think Sharon's question helped us to dive in a little bit deeper with it. It's great. If anyone has any last questions, for sure, feel free to throw them out. I mean, the other thing too, of course, is if anyone has questions after they've watched this at a later date, just throw them there, and Chris, Kevin, I will monitor the thread and just kind of look at this. I mean, the big thing is, like, again, that testing is really helpful. I test my email sequences all the time. I just rebuild out my whole email sequence around this stuff. Like, you might have an instance where, like, if you get really into carry-ons, Cass, you can do like your fifth article could be like literally 3 carry-ons that you review in depth, and then your 10 emails later, you could release an article and be like, I've got a little wild with the carry-ons, and I don't want to post all the articles here. So here is the ultimate guide to carry-ons or whatever, because you've already planted to see that you're an expert in that space. So sometimes it can be really good to kind of remind people of what you're going to be, show expertise on. So anyways,
luggage affiliates pay out huge.
Yeah, that I'm just getting more into luggage affiliates. I am interested in affiliates, and I have a whole bunch of sort of passive income streams built out, but I'm very I can be very like ADHD, where I'm like, well, squirrel, and I kind of get excited by something else. And in this case, like email marketing, I just run wild with it or whatever. I need to get back into doing some of those things. The other thing too is, quite frankly, I was counting on Amazon not to screw me. And they've continually lowered their rates and stuff. I used to make a fair bit more bank off of Amazon. So now I'm like really into these partnerships with individual companies. Like I work kind of with the 5-Minute Journal, which isn't a huge affiliate, but like these little partnerships. That's why the affiliate link tracker is helpful, because sometimes you can forget, like sometimes literally you're at a loss and you want to make some extra bank. Opening up your affiliate link tracker, you'd be like, oh, I could write a post about this. And it's like an hour, and it can be quite helpful. So I think that's about what we wanted to say. Fine, gentlemen.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions that have popped up yet? So, but yeah, if anyone does have questions, please drop them in the thread, and we'll come back and answer them.
That's right. All right. Thanks, everybody. I guess, Rudder, you can fade us away into the distance, but thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope this was was helpful for folks, for sure. Throw any questions you have. We're very reachable. Wicked. All right. Lovely, folks. All right. Let's fade away, Rods.
Yes, no, thank you for paying attention, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. As Chris mentioned, if you haven't already, please go dive into the affiliate marketing course. It is pretty well stacked. It's awesome. And if you haven't already, go grab the free affiliate marketing tracking sheet. It's there to help you out. And if you have any questions, yes, jump right in and ask them in the group. We are here. We are always around. We love you guys.
We don't sleep, actually.
Yeah,
So
never. Because literally, once we get off this, we'll probably all be texting each other, talking about stuff. So that's how we roll.
It's true. I'm pretty sick of these people, to be honest with you.
So yeah, but other than that, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you guys. Yes.
Cheers, guys. Take
care.
care. I think we're still live, but